Congratulations, and thank you for choosing the 929. We realize you might have chosen from among many luxury cars, and we want you to know that we consider your purchase just the beginning of our relationship with you. Mazda is committed to the goal of designing and building products that exceed our customers' expectations, with the kind of warranty coverage that matches the unique quality of the vehicles we manufacture. We call this intense commitment to total customer satisfaction the Mazda way. Mazda Motor Corporation in Japan is in its 7th decade. We will soon be celebrating our 20th anniversary in America. Your new 929 continues the Mazda tradition of innovation. Each 929 component and system was carefully selected with one objective in mind: to design and build a line of luxurious road cars that offer outstanding total performance. We'll go over your all-new Mazda 929 with you, telling you why things were done the way they were and explaining how to get the best use and most enjoyment out of your vehicle. To make this video manual even easier to use, you'll find a time code in the lower right corner of your screen. You can reference anything on the video by using the index card packaged with the videotape. Please note, the material covered in this video has been selected from sections 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the printed 929 owner's manual and is intended to supplement the printed manual, not to replace it. It is important that you carefully read the printed manual. A good way to do this is to review it while you're playing these video highlights. If you have any questions regarding the material covered in either the printed manual or the video highlights, please see your Mazda dealer. Your Mazda 929, like most of the world's high-performance luxury cars, has a front-engine, rear-wheel drive layout, advanced all-independent suspension, and the option of an anti-lock feature on its four-wheel disc brakes. You should have 2 sets of 2 keys each with numbers. Record them. If you lose your keys, the key number will help your Mazda dealer to make new ones. The main key has a round head, and it works on all locks and the ignition. The secondary key has an oval head. It will not open the trunk or glove box. This is the key to leave with the parking lot attendants. The remote trunk release can be disconnected by turning the round head key counterclockwise in the trunk lock, one small part of the theft deterrent system. The 929 theft deterrent system is armed when the trunk, hood, and doors are locked, and the last door is locked without the key. When that last door lock button is pushed, you'll hear a beep and the dash indicator light will come on for about 10 seconds, then flash for about 5 seconds after the door, trunk, or hood is finally locked. The light will continue to flash once every 3 seconds as long as the system is armed. It's best to lock the driver's door last. Make sure that the windows are all closed before the alarm is set, because the system will work with them open. When the system is on, if an attempt is made to open the doors, trunk, or hood without a key, the horn will blow, the headlights and warning lights will flash, and the starter will not operate. The alarm system will operate for 4 to 6 minutes, then reset itself unless turned off by a key in the trunk, which has to be closed, or in a door which may be open or closed. No system will make your car theft-proof, but the Mazda system will deter theft or vandalism. Get into the car. Notice that the driver's door has a light that illuminates the lock when the handle is lifted. Put either key in the ignition and turn it past accessory to the on position, but don't start the engine yet. It's sad, but many drivers never quite learn how to properly adjust the seat or the mirrors. As you're sitting in the seat, can you see forward without stretching? There is a height adjustment lever on the left side, or if you've chosen the optional power driver's seat, you'll find the switch in about the same location. Raise or lower the seat until you can see forward comfortably. Make sure you're leaning on the seat back while making the adjustment. The seat back should be reclined only slightly. The seat recliner lever is just behind the height adjuster or the switch. Now adjust the angle of the seat so that your weight is evenly distributed over the entire bottom of your thigh. A button on the height lever on the manual seat or twisting the switch on the electronically operated seat adjusts the angle. The seat should be far enough forward to allow you to fully depress the brake. The adjuster is on the front or the side of the seat. Your 929 steering wheel is adjustable for height. The release lever is under the steering column. Push it down to unlock it. Then with your hands near the 9 and 3 positions, lift the wheel so that when your arms are extended, your wrists will rest comfortably on the 12 o'clock position. Now pull the release lever up to lock the wheel in your position. Adjust the headrest so the bolster is closest to the top of your ears and not behind your neck. Be sure never to operate your 929 with the head restraint removed. The lumbar support lever is on the right side of the seat back. For For most drivers, starting with zero lumbar pressure, then increasing it as needed, seems to work best. And make sure you do all of this before you move the car. Seat belts help reduce injuries. Use them. Make sure that the lap belt is as low on the hips as possible and there are no twists in it. You'll find your 929 belts are comfortable and a comfort. There are special instructions for pregnant women and child seat use in your printed owner's manual in sections 2 on pages 19, 20, and 21. With the seat adjusted and your seat belt on, adjust the inside rear view mirrors so you can see clearly to the rear. If you have child passengers, the child safety locks disconnect the inside rear door handles. Don't forget to deactivate them when you're carrying adults. The outside mirror adjusting control is on the lower left of the instrument panel. Push the center switch to the left. Use all 4 sides of the control panel to adjust the mirror. Now move the center switch to the right. Then adjust that mirror so you can just see the right side of your car. It's a convex mirror required by federal law and gives a much wider view than a flat mirror. But it should not be used to judge distance because objects seen in the mirror are closer than they appear. Okay, now you're ready to start the car, but not quite ready to drive. Because you had to adjust the seat and mirrors, the key was in the on position, but ordinarily when the engine isn't running it should be in the accessory or lock and the automatic transmission selector should be in neutral or park. The light controls are on the left steering column stalk. Rotating the switch at the stalk's tip turns on the parking lights, then the headlights in sequence. Pulling the stalk toward you flashes the headlights to bright. Pushing the stalk away switches the light to the high beam position. The right steering column stalks contain windshield wiper and washer controls and operating switches for cruise control. To turn the windshield wiper on, rotate the barrel of the switch. First position is intermittent, second is normal, third, high speed. The speed of the wipers on intermittent can be varied by turning the INT dial next to the barrel. For the single wipe cycle, just push the stalk toward the dash and release. To wash and wipe, pull the lever toward you and hold until the windshield is clean. For longer blade life, avoid using the wipers on a dry windshield. To use cruise control, first push the cruise main switch on. The indicator light is in the switch itself, located on the instrument panel just right of the steering column. Now accelerate or decelerate to your chosen speed, anything above 25 miles per hour. Press the set button, hold for a moment, then release. To increase speed, accelerate to the desired speed, press the set button and hold it. Release at the new speed and it will be set. To decrease speed, push down on the lever and hold until the car slows to the lower speed, then release. Pushing up on the control stalk will allow your 929 to resume the last set speed unless the cruise main switch has been turned off. The cruise control will be deactivated if the clutch is depressed on a manual transmission, if you shift into neutral on an automatic transmission, if the brake is depressed with either transmission, or when the cruise main switch is turned off. Now you're ready to start your 929. With an automatic transmission, the shift lever should always be in neutral or park. If you have a manual transmission, depress the clutch with your left foot. Okay, twist the key and start the engine. Remember, your 929 has a sophisticated multi-point electronic fuel injection system. The best starting settings are programmed into it. Pushing or pumping the gas pedal only confuses the microprocessor. It's a good idea to adjust the heater, the air conditioning, and vents before you drive away. The 929 has automatic temperature and ventilation control, and if you prefer, there are manual controls as well. If your car has been parked in the sun or if it's extremely hot outside, open the windows for a minute or two, then press the air conditioner button, slide the upper lever to the extreme right and the lower lever to the extreme left. When the hot air has been exhausted from the interior, close the windows and adjust the fan lever to auto and the lower lever to the desired temperature. The microprocessor will automatically adjust the air conditioning compressor on and off and adjust the fan speed as needed. Your center instrument panel vent has a unique feature. The push button in the middle will allow it to oscillate or remain in a fixed position. The auto setting gets its information from a sunlight sensor on top of the instrument panel, so make sure you don't block it. The air intake control button allows you to choose to recirculate the air already in the car or bring in fresh air from outside. The recirculate mode is best used for maximum cooling or when fumes or pollen are present outside. The indicator light tells you which mode has been selected. Under normal conditions, the fresh air position is the best choice. The airflow control buttons allow you to select and combine the various vents. Each button has an indicator light just above it. The defrost position works best as a defogger when you combine it with the air conditioner. When driving in damp, wet weather or freezing temperatures, leave the defroster on. It helps keep the windshield clear. The auto climate control switch lets the microprocessor go from fresh to recirculate and back to help maintain the temperature you've set. The entire climate control system can be worked manually by turning off the auto switch and avoiding the auto blower position. Your printed owner's manual, section 3, pages 40 to 56, gives you detailed instruction on operating the 6-speaker AM/FM stereo system with its electronic tuner, built-in amplifier, graphic equalizer, cassette deck, and optional compact disc player. The standard analog instrument panel has the traditional speedometer, tachometer, which tells how many RPMs the engine is turning, a fuel gauge, a voltmeter, a coolant temperature gauge, and a trip meter, as well as warning lights for headlights. The low fuel light comes on when there are about 2.5 gallons of fuel left. There are also warning lights for stop and tail lights, low windshield washer fluid, and electric malfunction, electrical charging systems, oil pressure, door ajar, brake system, security system, and seatbelt reminder. The instrument panel is your real connection with the 929. The trip meter is reset by pushing the reset button. Use it to check your gas mileage from tank to tank. Any drop in fuel economy may be an indication that something is wrong. Try to notice any deviation from normal in the coolant temperature and voltage gauges. Needles should register in the same range each time. The coolant gauge's normal range is about the mid 75% of the scale. The voltmeter should read between 11 and 15 volts. A steady reading between 13 and 14 volts is ideal. Warning lights are trying to tell you something. To make sure that they're all working, pull on the parking brake and turn on the key. All warning lights should light. If they don't, see your Mazda dealer. If the oil pressure light comes on while the engine is running, turn the engine off as soon as you safely can. Wait a few moments for the oil to drain back into the crankcase. Then, check the oil level by using the dipstick. Add oil if necessary. The most important single piece of preventative maintenance is the oil change. Follow the intervals in section 6 of your manual. Pages 31 and 32 will explain what type of oil to use. It's a good idea to check belt tension while you're under the hood checking the oil. Just press on the belt between two pulleys. If firm pressure will move the belt more than 3/4 of an inch, have your Mazda dealer adjust or replace. The battery charging light should not stay illuminated while the engine is running. If it does, it may be due to a loose alternator belt, a loose battery cable, or something more serious. If you must drive with a charge light on, turn off the audio system, the heater blower, or air conditioner and as many lights as you can, and get to a Mazda dealer. If it ever becomes necessary to jump-start your car, check the owner's manual for special instructions, section 4, page 2. Brake fluid and clutch fluid, if your 929 has a manual transmission, are in transparent containers on the left rear of the engine compartment. The fluid level can be seen through the container. You may have to wipe them clean with a paper towel to see the level. Use only the brake fluid recommended in your manual in section 6, page 31. Be very sure not to get dirt into the container when adding fluid. If the fluid is low, see your Mazda dealer for a check on your brake system. Nothing is more annoying than an empty windshield washer reservoir and a dirty windshield. Use a non-streaking detergent and wipe the rubber part of the wiper blades clean whenever filling the gas tank. They'll last longer and do a better job of cleaning your windshield. Make sure the power steering fluid level is checked each time the oil is changed. The pump is on the right side of the engine near the front. The level should be between the two marks on the dipstick which is attached to the cap. Make sure the front of the cap points to the front of the car when you check the level and when you fasten it again. See section 6, page 31 for the type of fluid. The stop and tail lamp light lets you know when a bulb is burned out or that there is a possible wiring or switch damage. See your Mazda dealer. The malfunction light is a check on the electrical system. If it comes on, see your dealer. The security indicator light tells you that the theft deterrent system is working. And your seatbelt reminder light is a federal requirement that should prompt you and your passengers to use your seatbelts. The optional electronic digital instrument panel has all the information functions that the standard analog system has and several more. It has a speedometer that will read in miles or kilometers per hour. The switch to change it from one to the other is below the left side of the readout. It is also equipped with dual trip meters. Reset switches are to the right of the mile-kilo switch. The digital coolant temperature gauge lights up and flashes if the engine is overheated. The digital fuel gauge's lower segments flash when fuel is low. Pressing the reset button below the fuel gauge expands the scale so that the last 4 gallons can be read more accurately. This expanded scale lasts about 5 seconds each time the reset button is pushed. The electronic instrument panel also has a switch under the left side of the tachometer that brings the display brightness up to the daylight level even though the lights, which normally dim the display, are on. If your 929 has the Mazda electronically controlled automatic transmission, make sure that the park position and the parking brake are both used. If you have the 5-speed manual gearbox, use the parking brake, but leave the transmission in neutral. When you set the parking brake on either transmission, press the foot brake at the same time. If you must wait for long periods of time, turn the engine off. If it's not practical to turn the engine off, put the transmission into neutral. Make sure that the foot brake is held on while you're in neutral. Never hold the car on a hill with either the automatic transmission or by slipping the clutch with the manual transmission. The electronically controlled automatic transmission works like most automatics but with some extra control features. It's a 4-speed automatic with 4th gear overdrive used for most driving over 40 miles an hour. Usually the lever is left in the D drive position. To move the lever to the S, L, reverse, or park, the lock button on the side of the shifter must be pressed. When you're shifting from N, P, or reverse, hold your foot on the brake. The S position locks out the overdrive 4th gear and is used for winding roads and slow traffic. There is a driving mode selector located forward of the shifter. Most driving is done in econo. Power by delaying shifts to a higher engine speed gives better acceleration and less fuel economy. There is also a hold switch located below the lockout button on the side of the shifter handle. Hold keeps the transmission from shifting up into the highest gear in any range. Along with the driving mode selector, hold allows almost as much control as with a manual transmission. If your 929 has the auto-adjusting suspension, its control panel is next to the driving mode selector forward of the shifter. The AAS-equipped 929 has 3 settings. Sport gives maximum control, Soft the best ride, Auto switches to the soft setting at low speeds, and to Sport in the front only under normal highway conditions. The optional anti-lock braking system, if you've chosen it for your 929, will prevent the lockup and potential loss of control that comes from braking on loose or slippery surfaces. When a hard stop is made, you'll feel a pulsing through the brake pedal. This is normal. After starting the car, the ABS warning light should come on long enough for the system to check itself. If it does not go out in a few seconds, you should see your Mazda dealer. Simple maintenance such as checking tire pressures and fluid levels is easy and can help catch problems before they develop. Make a point of checking your tire pressure with your own gauge. There is a sticker located on the driver's door frame listing the recommended tire pressure. Your printed owner's manual, section 6, page 15, also has a complete list. If anything electric in your 929 stops working, check the fuses first. The fuse block is located on the left kick panel ahead of the driver's left knee. The fuse must be removed and replaced with a small plastic tool found in the fuse box. Make sure that the same rating fuse is used. A blown fuse will have the small wire connecting the 2 prongs broken. Fuses are available from your Mazda dealer and most auto parts stores. The heater, air conditioning, and rear window defroster are fed through circuit breakers. If any of them fail, try resetting the button next to the fuse box. If it fails again, see your Mazda dealer. If you've ever checked engine oil or other fluid levels, it's not a bad idea to keep a roll of paper towels and window cleaner in the car. We've shown you how to check and add oil. Automatic transmission fluid is checked the same way. The dipstick is at the rear of the engine compartment on the right side. The major difference is that the engine must be running, so be careful. Park the vehicle on level ground and set the parking brake firmly. The transmission must be warm when being checked. Move the selector lever to park. Then check the level. If it's low, use only the approved automatic transmission fluids listed in Section 6, page 31 of your owner's manual. If your engine temperature gauge indicates overheating, pull off the road immediately and stop. Follow the procedures and observe the warnings printed on pages 3-19, 6-13, and 6-20 of your owner's manual. Remember, do not remove the radiator cap. Scalding hot coolant and steam may blow out under pressure and cause serious injury. Also remember that engine overheating problems may be caused by not enough coolant in the system. Always check the coolant level in the plastic container on the right side of the engine at the very rear of the compartment, but only when the engine is cool. Modern radial tires last longer, use less fuel, and are quieter than the tires of just a few years ago. To the emergency supplies you've been keeping in the trunk, add a can of pressurized tire inflator. If your tire is low and will hold air, use the inflator. It's simple and easy to use and will take care of a slow leak until you can have the tire repaired properly. However, if the tire is completely flat, it's going to have to be changed, and if help isn't close by, you're going to change it. First, and most important, find a place well out of traffic, level and hard surfaced. If this is impossible, turn on your emergency flashers and drive very slowly to the nearest place that is out of traffic, level and hard surfaced. Once you're there, leave the emergency flashers on and set the parking brake fully. If you have an automatic transmission, put it in park. The tools and jack for your 929 are stored under a panel on the right side of the trunk floor. A space-saver spare tire that is lighter and more compact than a full-size spare is mounted behind a panel on the left side of the trunk. It's held in with a large wing nut that should be easy to take off without tools. If it is too tight, tap it counterclockwise with a lug wrench. Remove the spare and roll it into position near the tire you're replacing. Use the wheel stoppers from the tool bag to block the front and back side of the wheel diagonally opposite to the one being changed. If the parking brake is not set and the wheel is not blocked, the vehicle could move and possibly slip off the jack. A tire that is run flat for even a short distance will be hot, so be careful. Use the small pry tool to remove the center cover from the wheel. Loosen the lug nuts by turning them one turn counterclockwise. Just loosen them at this stage. Don't take them off yet. Now take the jack and slide it under the car. Notice there's a jack point under the sill just behind each front wheel and in front of each of the rear wheels. Use the one closest to the flat tire. Never use places other than the jack points for jack support. Never get beneath the vehicle while using the jack, and do not start or run the engine while the vehicle is on the jack. Now insert the jack handle and turn it clockwise to raise the car until the tire barely clears the ground. Make sure the vehicle is stable and there is no chance for it to slip or move. Take the loosened lug nuts off by turning them counterclockwise. Then carefully take the wheel off. Put the spare on. It may be necessary to raise the jack a few more turns and start the lug nuts with a cone-shaped side toward the wheel. Tighten them as much as you can by hand, then use the lug wrench to snug them down. Don't worry at this stage about getting them really tight. Lower the jack counterclockwise until it's clear. Now use the lug wrench to tighten the nuts in the order shown in your owner's manual. Put the flat tire, jack, and tools back in the trunk. Don't forget the wheel stoppers. And be sure to turn off the emergency flashers before you re-enter traffic. Remember that the Space Saver spare is only temporary. It's designed to run at 60 pounds pressure. Never use it over 50 miles per hour. It should be used only until the regular tire can be fixed or replaced, and that should be done as soon as possible. As we said earlier, the material covered in this video has been taken from your Mazda 929 printed owner's manual. Its purpose is to make it easier for you to understand the manual by visually reviewing the vehicle information in situations that are most frequently experienced. Remember, it is designed to supplement the printed manual, not replace it. You should also thoroughly review the Mazda 929's warranty booklet. It explains Mazda's 3-year, 50,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty in detail and spells out what you must do to keep this extraordinary warranty in force. Always take your 929 to a Mazda dealer for service. He has factory-trained technicians, special Mazda tools and test equipment, the latest product information, and genuine Mazda parts. And when you have your warranty inspections and maintenance checkups at your Mazda dealer, he assumes the responsibility for the necessary inspections and records needed to keep your bumper-to-bumper warranty in effect. Everyone at Mazda has an intense commitment to your total satisfaction because that is the Mazda way. We only ask you to let us prove it.